Hi everybody, how are you? I'm Kayla and this is my channel about mostly cross stitch. So this will be Flosstube number 3. I'm really proud of myself because so far I've been sticking to a every 2 weeks schedule. So that's probably not that big of a deal, but for me it's a big deal. So anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. If you're just finding me, welcome. I hope you'll stick around and enjoy yourself. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and dealing with my craziness and weirdness. Okay, so let's see. I'm just gonna hop right into it. I did not get nearly as much stitching done as I would have liked, but I did get a finish. And I made progress on one of my whips, and I have a tiny bit of haul which comes into a new start, which I will talk about. I also have a previous finish to show you guys today. I have a giveaway winner announcement, a couple of things I want to show you guys that I picked up for maybe finishing stuff on eventually. And I also want to share my daughter's Halloween costume that I made, which is a big reason why I didn't end up having any more stitching than I do. And I also didn't do any knitting because most times now since I started cross stitching and become obsessed with it, any free time I want to cross stitch and not knit. But I do have knitting that I want to complete. But any knitting that I would have done this time was just completely knocked out because yeah, I was working on my daughter's Halloween costume. So yeah. Okay, what should I show you guys first? I'm just gonna show you guys my daughter's Halloween costume first. Now let me preface this by saying, I recognize that there are pre-made options available that are similar to what I'm about to show you. However, my daughter was very specific. She wanted to have a riding on a unicorn type looking costume. So like her back legs being the back unicorn legs type of thing. And a lot of the ones that she liked were toddler sized and also very expensive. And my daughter's 7, so she doesn't fit in the toddler sized options. I also did see a blow up costume that maybe would have worked, but she was like, it's all wrong. The unicorn's jumping, blah, blah, blah. And I think that was also not her size anyway. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll make it. It turned out all right. So let me just show you guys. Excuse me while I grab it. All right, I'm gonna show you guys. First of all, her little back legs are unicorn legs, right? So I made her pants that match the unicorn, so her back legs look like the unicorn's back legs, number 1. That was a big complaint with the costumes we were finding pre-made, was that they didn't have matching legs, and she was like, how is it a unicorn with only 2 legs? So there's that. I just took a pair of her pajama pants that are kind of a little snug, and I made a pattern out of them. So these are a little tight, so what I just did is I kind of did like a, a tight zigzag stitch with a small space in between. I made the stitch length really small, like a 1. So it's kind of like a buttonhole, and then I just cut it and added some elastic so they'd be more comfortable. And then the purple, you'll see I just made the other legs, the front legs, match. Okay, so anyway, here is the unicorn with a little rainbow tail, rainbow mane. It's hard to show you guys because this is so bulky and weird, but there's a little bangs with a little bow, the horn, her little face. I just did puffy paint for the face, like the nostrils and the eyeballs. And then here's the front legs. As you can see, I tried to make them squarish like the pants. Originally, my idea was to make them rounded, like the bottom's rounded like the nose, but how was I going to make pants rounded at the bottom and make it make sense? So, and then here are just the straps that go over her shoulders, which are a little bit long, actually. I'm going to pin them. And then here's like, the hole where she goes through, and she has her little feet sticking out the back. So this took almost 2 bags of fiberfill and quite a few hours because the bottom, like this part and this part is all sewed by hand because it was just a bit too bulky for my machine. I'm putting it down, excuse me. I'll be right back. And every time I touch it, I become covered in sparkles. I don't know if you guys can see. So anyway, that took up a lot of time and now I'm all like out of breath. But I'm pleased with how it turned out. It was like a big 3D puzzle. I just made it up as I went along. So, and she likes it, which is the most important part. So thank goodness that's finished. Just in time, only 2 days till Halloween. So yeah. Hopefully she'll maybe even want to wear it next year if it still fits. That would be great. All right, now I'm getting into cross stitch. So I do have a finish. It probably isn't going to be a big surprise to you, but anyway, here it is. This is my third to-be ornament from Christmas Pugs by Katerina Besperstova. This was a PDF download from Etsy when I got it. Although I was looking for it, the pattern. I was looking for the pattern to maybe link it for you guys, and I could not find it on Etsy. So I commenced to Googling, and I did find it on mybobbin.com now. So if you're new here, it's actually 6 pug patterns. They're adorable, and they're all Christmas themed, obviously, because it's called Christmas Pugs. But I'm making these for each of my children, and I'm going to make them into Christmas ornaments. So this is the third and final one. Obviously, it's like he's wearing the bunny costume from A Christmas Story. And this I made for my oldest, my 16-year-old, I can't believe he's 16, stepson. And then this was my finish from last video. This one is for my 7-year-old daughter. And this was my first finish of it, and this is for my 9-year-old son. So I wanted to have these FFO'd this week, but like I said, because of the unicorn costume, I kind of just didn't have the time. So I made the costume my priority. So I'm hopeful that by next Flosstube in 2 weeks' time, that these will all actually be in ornament form, which will be great. And these were stitched with all of the called for DMC from the pattern 2/2 on 32 count raw, I think it's called, or natural maybe, linen, which was purchased at Hobby Lobby. So that's finished. I just have to FFO them, which is very exciting. I'm very pleased with how they turned out. Okay. The only whip that you guys know about that I worked on this past 2 weeks was Nightshade Bird by Plum Street Samplers. If you remember last time when I showed it, it was my new start, and I called it a little cheeky start because I really had, in my opinion, I felt no business starting something new because I have 3 big projects, bigger projects that I really want to get done at some point, right? Why do we make them if we don't want them done? But anyway, I was just like, whatever, I'm starting it. So I'm using all the called for flosses. They look a mess. Sorry, that's just how it goes. These are all over dyes, and then this is DMC 834. And then there's literally one stitch, 822, DMC 822, which I believe I have 822 in a thing upstairs, so I didn't have to buy that. And it's not pulled down yet, but that, and this is on, let me get this situated here. I'm stitching this on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart. And when you guys last saw it, there was 3, maybe 4 letters down here completed. So maybe these 3 or these 4, I'm not sure. But as you can see, I've made a good deal of progress, even though I haven't had a ton of stitching time. I'm almost at a page finish, actually. Once I get this bird filled in over here, and then 2 more letters down here, and there's a little like triangular type little details sticking out from the spiral that I haven't done, maybe 4 or 5 of those little things. Then I'll be a page finish, which is awesome. There's only 2 pages in this pattern, so I'm almost halfway done, which is, for me, feels quite impressive. Let me see if I can show it to you a little bit better. Please excuse the hanging thread. I was working on it before the kids and I did school today. And then I like put it down in a hurry. Let me see. I'm sorry for the adjusting. Thanks for your patience. So that's where we're at with that. I really love how it's coming along. It's been really fun to work on so far. And I don't know if I said I'm doing 1/2. That's what I usually do with 36 count. So yeah, I don't know if it's picking up the variegation in this tail. This is Weeks Dye Works Adobe, and I absolutely love that color. Funnily, when I was stitching it, maybe not funnily, but to me, I thought it was funny. When I was stitching it, the colors with the black spots in it, so this is Adobe. You can see like different shades in there. It's so pretty. But the colors of the tail of this fun bird with the variegation and then the black spots were really reminding me of spotted lanternflies, which are an insect, obviously a fly that has started kind of spreading throughout the eastern US and maybe throughout the whole country now. I don't know. I think it's a few years old of a problem, but it's kind of invasive because it has no natural predators here. And I believe it came from China in like a shipment of gravel a few years back. So anyway, they're actually, as far as flies go, quite pretty because they have that spotting on their wings and then inside is like some bright red. How did I get in that? Oh, because the tail reminds me of the spotted wings of the spotted lanternfly. So if you haven't seen them, I guess that's good. Consider yourself lucky. They're kind of becoming a problem in my area, or have been a problem for a couple of years. So that was it was a little deer trail side note. But in spite of the fact that they remind me of an invasive bug, I really like how the tail looks. And I'm excited to get into the wing because that's where like the little scallop pattern comes up with the lighter pink. So yeah, that'll be really pretty. Okay, so that was the only whip I worked on besides finishing the pug. And now I have a little bit of haul and a new start, but I'm gonna explain. Okay, not that any of you care, but I'm gonna explain anyway. So Billy, that's my husband. Billy, if you're watching, you need to skip like 10 minutes, okay? Thanks. So skip from now on. My husband sometimes watches, so this is like a surprise for him. So, okay. So it came to my attention that this January coming up will be our 10-year anniversary of being married. So I decided I wanted to do something extra special besides, like we usually will go out to dinner on our anniversary, which is lovely, considering we don't have that many date nights otherwise, you know, but we go out to dinner and just like try to do something else, maybe like have a date together, which is a lot of fun, and, you know, give each other a little present or something. It's so soon after Christmas though that it's like we don't need anything, so yeah. But anyway, I wanted to do something special for our 10-year anniversary. So I decided to make him a pattern. So I bought My Token of Love by Rosewood Manor. And I started it. And so far I'm only still on the first page, but I've made decent progress. I only worked on it a few days because I'm only working on it when my husband is gone for work, you know, and he travels for work, but sometimes he has time home. So I'm trying to do this like, you know, so he doesn't see, obviously. I'm sure he has an idea because like it came, like the pattern came when he was home and he was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, nothing. And then I already ordered a frame and it arrived because I didn't want to be rushing to find a frame and get it here in time and freaking out because I usually just frame everything myself just to save some money. So I already got the frame too. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, nothing. So obviously he knows something's going on. Something's amiss, right? Anyway, but I'm still trying to keep it somewhat secret. I'm going to move the thread over because that was just going to be hanging over the stitching. So anyway, this is going to be on 32 count vintage smoky white by Swigart. There's where I am so far. I'm loving it so far. And I'm using DMC 115, which is a variegated red, obviously. There's the rest of them. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. So as I mentioned, maybe our anniversary is in January 14th. That's when our 10-year anniversary is. So I've got, you know, what, 2.5 months to get this done. And I've realized that having a deadline like that really motivates me. For example, with the pug ornaments, I was like, gotta get them done so I have time to make them before Christmas. And this is just like, it makes me feel really motivated. So, but it's not arbitrary. It's not because I made a deadline. Like it's not just like, I want to be done this sampler by mid-May because no reason. It's like a deadline because it's an event. It's for somebody. So that makes me feel super motivated. So I'm excited to see, you know, what other progress I can make. And I'm sure you guys will be seeing a lot of this in the coming floss tubes until it's finished and framed. So yeah, that is my new start. All right, Billy, you can start watching again if you're watching. I don't think he actually watches that long. I think he watches the first couple minutes and goes, aha, you're funny, you're adorable, and then turns it off, but I still appreciate the support. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys, I feel like I'm moving along really quick today. So I guess that's decent. I mean, I don't mind watching longer videos actually. I think it's nice to like stitch along to them, but anyway. I also apologize if I'm going like super fast. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a previous finish and then the other haul that isn't actually like patterns or fabric or floss, but things that I have in mind for stitching. And then I'll do the giveaway announcement, winner, and then I think I'll be done. Okay, so here, let me back up, is a previous finish. Obviously, I'm sure you guys all recognize this pattern because it is so popular. This is Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. I stitched this on 36 count Brenda's Brew with the called for floss. Actually, it was a gift from my husband, like the kit. So yeah. I believe I started this maybe January of this year and finished it maybe in May, with obviously days of not stitching it in between. I did frame it myself, so you can see that the margins are not exactly perfect. Over here there's more space, and at the bottom there's more space than at the top, but most people don't notice that. So it's fine. This frame I ordered from pictureframes.com, and you know, they make them like the custom size. You can choose the custom, you know, opening size, and then when they send it, you can choose whether or not you want glass or like a backing mat enclosed or not. I chose not to because I had foam board already, and it comes with a picture hanging kit. So yeah, I really am pleased with the frame, and I'm moderately pleased with my framing job, and with the stitching I'm very pleased. I absolutely love this. Every time I look at it, I think about how pretty it is. And yeah, I know probably you might be tired of seeing it because so many people have stitched it and are stitching it still, but I love it. I couldn't be happier with how the stitching turned out. So this was quite a big project. This was the biggest project I'd ever undertaken. And yeah, it's hanging in my dining room. Unfortunately, just the way that I sit with the lighting and everything, you can't see it, but it does hang up back over this way, along with one other sampler finish that's smaller, which I'll show you guys soon. So yeah, that's Winter Rose Manor. Love it. Yeah. I fell in love with that pattern before it was even available. I believe it was Carol from Saltbox Stitcher showed the pattern. She had it earlier because she had gotten it from the retreat where I guess they released it, you know, it was released earlier, like a year. I know a lot of times with retreats, the patterns will come out and then maybe a year later they become available to the general public. So, oh, I just knocked the whole table, sorry. So, yeah, Carol had shown it and I was like blown away by the pattern. And so I was chomping at the bit to get it. And then once it was available, I put it right on my Christmas list and I said, honey, you need to order this because a lot of people are going to be ordering it. It's going to be out of stock. And he was like, okay. And I was like, this is the only present I really want. He was like, okay. So yeah, that's what happened. And I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. I said to my husband all the time, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because it took me months to stitch it and I enjoyed almost every stitch of it, besides the fact that that house was massive and there was a lot of stitching, right? But I enjoyed it. So it took me months of enjoyment to finish it. And then now every time I look at it, I'm just so pleased with it. So yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I feel like any stitchy gift for any person who loves stitching is the gift that keeps on giving. So you could feel free to use that to, you know, justify any purchases or gift wish lists. Yeah. All right. Let me show you guys the 3 things I got in the past couple of weeks that I think will be great for finishing. And then I'll do giveaway winner and then I'll be done. Okay. Hold on one second. All right. So first I'm going to show you 2 things that I got from a Goodwill that's somewhat local to me. So they were very inexpensive. First, this little paddle cutting board thing. It was like $2 or $3, and I think obviously it would be wonderful to mount some cross stitch on. You see people doing it all the time. So I would probably paint it whatever color would coordinate with whatever finish I have. And yeah, I'm quite pleased to have this, and it was so inexpensive. I actually really like the side with the green, so I don't know, we'll see. Then at that same Goodwill, I found this glass, I guess it's kind of a cloche. I guess it is a cloche, although to me a cloche is often more raised, but maybe it's a mini cake dish, I don't know. And I had the idea of putting a bunch of, you know, finished little pin cushions in it, which really isn't my idea. I'm copying completely from Kindred Stitcher, Lisa. I believe she has a cloche that has a galvanized metal bottom, which I think she said she purchased at Hobby Lobby. This was several months ago that I saw her video. But inside she has a bunch of strawberries that, you know, were stitched, and it's so beautiful. And I remember after I saw that video of hers, the next time I was at Hobby Lobby, I looked for the cloche and I found it, but I didn't want to buy it because it wasn't on sale. So I kind of missed that opportunity there. But ever since then, I've been on the lookout for something similar. So this has a glass bottom, obviously, but I got it at Goodwill for $4.99 maybe. So now I just have it sitting around. I don't have any strawberries to put in it yet, but I will. Anyway, I'm quite excited about it. I think it's a good one. And then, oh, I'm just gonna reach so I can put it out of the way. The last thing I got was this wooden sled. This was in the Target dollar spot, actually. This is the back. It was $5. I actually was remembering that it was $3, so I guess I didn't save the $2 that I thought I did, but whatever. It was $5. And I actually really like it on its own with just the snowflake on it, because you can keep it out all winter, not just for Christmas. But I thought it would be really nice also to have the option of, you know, mounting a stitch piece on that. So I'm sure these are out in a lot of Targets now, even though it's not quite Halloween yet, but you know how it goes. They always put Christmas stuff out sooner. So yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I think it's really cute. Even if I don't end up mounting anything to it, I think it'll be great to just have out in winter time. So that's all my purchases. And my stitching. I was thinking, once I have Nightshade Bird done, because I'm really excited to work on that. Once I have that done, I really think, and of course this is subject to change because we all know we make plans and then they don't really change. Of course, I'm going to work on My Token of Love by Rosewood Manor as much as possible because I want to get that done before our anniversary so I can give it to him on our anniversary. But after that, I really want to see how much progress I can make on one of my whips, either Froth and Bubble or the Angel or Grace Bridges. Those are my 3 other whips and they're quite large, obviously. I mean, the Angel's not super large. It's probably be like in an 8x10 frame once it's finished, but it's very stitch heavy. It's almost full coverage, really. I just want to see, you know, if I focus on those and don't start anything small, new, because it's always so easy to start something that's smaller because it's a small. So you're like, I can get it done in a couple weeks, no big deal. But then then I don't spend the time focusing on those bigger pieces. So I'm kind of interested to see if I finish Nightshade Bird and then continue working on Rosewood Manor. Oh, I have a cough, excuse me. We had a little cold this past week. It's going around our house. That's fun. But yeah, if I keep working on the Rosewood Manor Token of Love when my hubby's not home, and then when he is home, focusing on one of my other whips to see just how much progress I can make. My inclination is to do Froth and Bubble first because that's my oldest whip. I started that maybe this past April or something. April or May, I'm not sure. Yeah, so that would be really cool to get that done. And I was thinking about that. I have been toying with the idea with the Froth and Bubble sampler by Long Dog Samplers, if I should make it into a wall hanging and not necessarily just a framed piece. I'm not sure why, but it just feels right. So I might end up doing that once it's finished, but I'm getting quite ahead of myself because it's not finished yet. So, okay, enough rambling. Let me announce the giveaway winner and then I will be done. I don't have a giveaway for this week, but maybe next week. I just don't, have a ton of stuff to give away yet, but I'm sure I will find something. So the giveaway was for the Eliza Guy sampler. If you guys remember, I really, really like this. It's so lovely, but I just don't think I'm gonna get to it. So, and the winner, I think there were 8 entries, 8 or 9. And I did the random comment picker website, which I had seen other stitchers use in their floss tubes. And the winner was Cheryl S. So Cheryl, congratulations. I'm going to put a comment on your comment in the last video that you did, and I'll put my email address, I guess, down below in the description and also in the comment that I'm going to leave on your comment. So please email me with your address so I can mail it out to you. I'm so pleased you won. Sorry to everyone else who didn't win. I would have been happy if any of you won, obviously. But I'm excited to send something out to you. So yeah, let me get your address. Okay, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching and hanging in there with my rambling and all of that. Hopefully I'll have more good stuff to show you next time. And yeah, stay well, stay safe, keep stitching. Okay, yeah, bye.